This is my TED 100 teaching lesson for chapter 14 on what can a new teacher expect. Um, Thank you for watching and thank you for trying to learn something. If you see me glancing to the sides, I have my notes and my book open. So, first thing to address would be having an unfamiliar environment. And regardless of how many schools you've been in, especially I found this from playing sports in high school, you're going to have every school set up different. You're going to have to know where each wing of the school is, if they divide it into wings, such as in Eau Claire, they have Memorial High School, which isn't divided into individual wings for the general subject. They have it divided into the different areas of freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior traditionally those grades classes. You're gonna have to know what the school entails, who your administrators are, who your supervisors are, who your principal is, and pretty much who you're answering to in your particular department. You're going to have to establish a basis with your students and make sure you figure out how they react to your certain teaching style. You're going to have to kind of start from the ground up. You're going to have a fresh lesson plan. You're going to have a fresh way of running your class. You're not going to really have the flow that that a more experienced teacher would have. You're going to kind of have to build your own little castle of a sort. You should have this lesson on this week, this lesson on that week. You won't have the knowledge and the tradition to ride off of that other student or other teachers would have. Figuring out your principal and your administrator and coming into a new school where you don't really have a professional friendship or a really basis with these people. You're going to have to learn how they run their ship, how they prefer you to do, what they expect from you. You're not going to be able to just jump in and know everything that they expect from you. You should know what your principal stands for. You should know what they expect. You should make sure you try and at least get to know them as a person so you know what to expect from them in a personal and supervisor role. And then making sure you ask other people in your department, or if you're in a smaller school, other people in your just general, wouldn't be department, I'm looking for the word. I'm having a brain fart. Area, because if you're the only history teacher or the only English teacher, going and maybe asking a younger teacher at this school what they think of and how they initially set up their classroom would be important to me, at least, to know what worked for them. Finally would be, and I think one of the most important things, especially what I've experienced with a new teacher, is figuring out the students, figuring out what they react to. Because I've been in classes like my history or my American history in my junior year, which was super professional. Everybody knew how to act with the instructor. Everybody had it was Mr. Davis. I talked about him in my Why Teach essay. Everybody knew what he expected, and just kind of the relationship that they had with him. You have to know the relationship that you can have with your students and the balance that you can have without overstepping the personal bounds of becoming a student's friend where they can step on you, and a student's educator where they have a professional and respectful attitude to you. We actually had this problem with a substitute teacher named Mr. Richter in the high school. My girlfriend also had him. She's laughing in the background. He had barely any respect throughout the student body just because he had made a friendship role out of what should have been a professional teaching role. And nobody respected him or the authority that he was given. So knowing the social interaction and how you should handle yourself with the students. And then, of course, knowing not to get too personal with a person that you have in your class. But all in all, pretty much going into your first year, you shouldn't give up teaching. It's going to be, depending on if you have a really hard class or a really easy class, it's probably going to be your hardest year just because you don't have the basis with your lesson plans, you don't have the basis with your colleagues, your administrative and principal. So nobody is going to really have a relationship or a personal relationship with you. And you're going to have to build all of your personal connections throughout the school, along with building your reputation with the student body. Guess I should touch on that really quick. Building a relationship with the student body or a reputation as a teacher, I feel is almost one of the most important things you can do. Sorry. But just knowing, or just having the student body know you as a professional and having the student body know what they can expect from you as a teacher. Mr. Stanley was our physics teacher, and he was well regarded as, in my mind and in most people's minds, the best teacher that was at Menominee High School. And he had a overwhelming and almost unanimous respect from the student body just because of this. You won't have that in your first year of teaching, and you'll have to build that up. And I think your reputation as a teacher can either be a very positive or a very negative thing, depending on how it happens. But that is what you can expect as a new teacher, and that is what you can expect with your first year of teaching. Thank you for tuning in. Sorry for the interruptions. Have a wonderful day.